So yeah,
That's funny.
D-Man, this is Tony. Tony is he's getting called to work. He's a badass. He uh, he wants to talk while he's driving, and I'm cool with that, D-Man, as long as you're okay. You don't have get a headache or anything.
No, man, I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Okay. So Tony, like I was saying, D-Man is one hell of a trader. Really good with psychology and trading, and I learned a lot from him. So I am happy to have him. We're lucky to have him on the
Okay.
base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You broke up a little. I heard most of what you said. I just didn't catch his name.
Uh, I call him D-Man because he's the man.
You can just call me Masood's servant. That's all I do. I'm just his errand boy.
If,
I
if
no, I
if
think
people only
I
knew
can see
D-Man.
your name, G-Man. So,
Yeah, he's the man. He's a baller shot caller. Okay, so this is I think part 13 or something. And Tony, so what we're gonna do is if you uh, Tony, so if you have one or two things that you want to focus on, something that you're struggling with, I have access to charts. We can pull it up. We can go over that issue. And I know you're driving, so you don't have to. You don't have any charts that you can present any trading. Um,
yeah, unfortunately not.
Break.
Um, yeah, I would have to say probably my two biggest right now
mm,
is I'm new to trading, so I don't really have much confidence in many. And then I guess knowing
shit. Your voice cut out hard. What'd you say, Tony? You said you're new to trading. Didn't hear how many years or anything.
oh yeah, no, this is like my first year of trading.
Okay.
I joined Investors Underground in the beginning of the year, um,
Okay.
but I work full time, so it's kind of hard for me to get on and try and trade them. When I trade, I'm trading from my phone, so I haven't had a
Oh
chance to
shit.
actually sit down at like my computer desk where I have three monitors and everything like that set up. I
Mm,
haven't had a chance to actually sit down and physically try and put what I've learned to the test. Um, but I do have some downtime, so I do get to pop on and here and there and try and trade. So
What do you do for work?
I'm a lineman, so I work on power lines.
Nice. That's one of the it's one of the top 10 most dangerous jobs in America.
Yeah, it has its dangerous aspects to it for sure. Um, I mean, it pays well, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
I gotta say, I can't say I'm trying to trade to supplement income. I'm just trying to learn how to trade because I've found some sort of like newfound passion in it. I mean, I grew up riding dirt bikes and playing with mud trucks and all that stuff, and now that I've got a family and I'm married and all that stuff, and
Where are you from?
I'm I'm from New Hampshire, so
You you broke up. You're from where?
New Hampshire,
New Hampshire. Gotcha.
yeah. So, but yeah, now that I've kind of I'm settling down and I'm in my early 30s or whatever, so and I'm more family based and trying to just make sure that I can have a solid foundation for myself and my family and just kind of earn that financial freedom instead of
Right.
having to bust my back for someone else every day.
mm.
Yep.
Uh, okay, so one of the things you mentioned is the confidence, and your objective is to become relatively financially free. And one of the other perspective you mentioned is you don't have a lot of time because you have a full-time job.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like the other day, Thursday, because the market was closed Friday, I tried shorting DocuSign, and if I had confidence or something to just reassure me, I probably would have nailed that short, because I think I tried shorting it at like 197, and it ended up dropping all the way below VWAP, and then it kind of came back kind of strong towards the end of the day or whatever. But
I mean, I have a few things to say, but
So
so
I think
let me go
oh,
first, Masood.
yeah, D-Man, it's yours. Yeah, go.
Tony, so you've been actively trading for how long? A year?
Start of January.
yeah, I would say probably. I started on Robinhood a little bit before then, but I actually got serious, I would say, probably like end of January, beginning of February,
Okay, so
where I
basically,
really,
yeah, so January, February, so March, April, May, June. So about 4 months that you've really kind of dug in and tried to really improve, right?
yeah, which I gotta say, I'm green right now. I'm not negative in my account. Not by a lot, but so.
Well, that's good. So let me ask you, do you have
Yeah.
anything that you would consider an edge?
Um. Honestly, no, not yet, and I'm still trying to find that edge, something that would make my trading, I guess, unique and more comfortable to and for me. Um, and I'm just not exactly sure what that edge is going to be yet, or
So
how to find it.
what brings confidence to traders is their edge, man. That's where the confidence comes from.
100%.
Because like I have a bunch of different strategies that I use, and one of them, I win about 70% of the time. One of them I win about 80% of the time. One of them I win about 60% of the time. So depending upon that edge, I expect to lose X amount of times. And so when I do lose, I realize that it's just one trade in the next 10,000. And so that one trade isn't as important to me because it's just one in the next 10,000. And I know over time my edge will win out because I've actually done it. So my first thing for you would be you need, are you journaling your trades, why you're taking them, why the emotions you're feeling when you're taking them, when you're getting out of them? Are you journaling all that?
Not on paper. Obviously, I can go through. I'm definitely making mental note, and right after I get done with the trade, I kind of try and review it and go over it right then and there to figure out either, all right, well, the trade didn't work in my favor, and this is why, or the trade did work in my favor, and this is why. But for physically jotting it down on paper, no.
So I would suggest, man, if you want to get serious, you need to not only you need to do what you're doing, right? Reviewing it. Um, the trade going in your favor or not, honestly, it doesn't matter. What you're doing is you're trying to create a system that is repeatable, right? Like that's the goal, a repeatable system. So you need to go through and you can't mentally look back and say, out of the last 1,000 trades that I took, that was for this example, for this play, like DocuCenter, DocuSign. If you're shorting it, I don't know what play that would fit under in your book. If it's got to go down, that's not a good edge, right? So if it's, I don't know, overextended, whatever edge you come up with on your short plays or whatever you develop, you got to have data to look back on and say, I know this will work over time. An example of that, I have a system, and not last week, but 2 weeks ago, I was only 6 out of 12 on it. So I was 50%, and I was like, man, that sucks. But I can literally look back at my journals for the previous year, and I'm 80% winner on this system. So guess what I did this week? I was like, well, if I only won 50% last week, my odds this week have increased. So I'm going balls to the wall, and I hit 10 for 10 this week. And that's what gave me the confidence to do it because I know the system works. Does that make sense?
He just said he lost his audio. I think he was hearing most of
Oh,
what you said. Um,
let's see.
Demon, what did he say? Negative. Okay, I told him to disconnect and come back. Let's see. Can you hear it now, Tony?
Yeah.
There you go. That worked. Okay, perfect. What
Yeah.
was the
Hey,
last thing you heard Demon say?
All right. So I think the last thing I heard after I kind of lost the audio there was D-Man was saying that whether it's a winning or losing trade, if I'm gonna be serious about this, I think
all
you
right.
were getting ready to say I need to document my trades.
Yeah, so what I gave you an example. So to develop an edge, you have to systematically document your trade so that you can go back and review the data. And honestly, that's how you develop an edge. That's how you get better and you hone your edge because you're writing down everything and it's hard data. And that's what gives you the confidence. That's all I'm saying is you literally, if you want to be serious about it, especially being new, to develop your edge, you have to journal it, write it down, and you're going to learn what you're good at, what you're not good at, and it will develop a strategy for you. And you'll develop that over time by literally writing things down. I know it's hard and I know it sucks, but if you want to get serious about it, that's literally what you have to do.
Yeah, no, I've got no problem doing that. I'll just have to keep a notebook or something like that with me in my work truck, so that when I
And what
do
I can
have this downtime, I can jot it. After I make the trade, I can write down my entries, my exits, and what went
and
wrong or what went right.
and it's not just about your entries and exits, right? Like I can email you like a trade journal that I've used through the years. You're literally developing your edge, right? Why did you take the trade? You got to put in there, why am I taking this trade?
Yeah.
Right? So why did you short DocuSign?
Because it seems like it's been overextended on the daily. It's gone up quite a bit, a lot
Okay,
lately. So it felt like looked like on the daily and felt like it was ready for some sort of a pullback after going like $15 on Thursday or
all
whatever it
right.
was. I forget exactly how much.
So see, you need to hone all that in. I'm going to tell you, the market can do whatever the market's going to do. It can go up 30% in one day, and it still might need a pullback, but it goes up another 30%, right? So you need to have verifiable data, whatever that is. Like if you're saying, okay, it's 2 standard deviations away from the 20. If it's outside, it's 3 ATR. You know what I mean? You need to have verifiable data that says, hey, it checked this box. It's outside, it's 3 ATR, and this could be my 3 ATR play. You know what I mean? Like, it can't be a seam, it can't be a feeling, it can't be I think it's going to. You have to have verifiable data that you can check boxes that say, this fits my playbook.
Yeah, I just started actually. I haven't even had a chance to use it yet, or even I was actually gonna try and find some time this weekend to go on. I use Thinkorswim right now, so they've got the on-demand feature, and go back through the past few weeks and the standard deviation study for the chart.
Yeah.
I just found out about that and kind of did some research on it, and that was one of the things that I wanted to put on my charts. And like you said, um, I put two of them on there. One of them is normal, and then I changed the other one to one, so that it's got different standard deviations. And have you ever heard of the boiler room trading with
Yeah.
Connor? Whatever, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Yeah, I think I've heard of it.
Well, I've taken his course as well. And I popped back onto his course on Friday, just because he had posted in his Discord room that he had updated some of it, and he actually has some videos, and that's how I found out about the standard deviation study. And he goes through a few videos on how to use it, why he uses it the way that he does, and everything. And it seems like it would be a pretty good and valid study to, like you said, all right, well, if it's outside of the first standard deviation and approaching on the second to the upside, then that's way overextended. 9 times out of 10, that stock's going to come back down, whether it comes back to the medium or even if it falls between the medium and the first standard deviation. It's usually not going to hang out there for too long.
Yeah, you need whatever that is. You need that data so that you can look at it to look back and say, hey, 9 out of 10 times or whatever it is, it worked. So that if you lose 2 or 3 times in a row, it doesn't hurt your confidence. It actually increases your confidence in the next trade. So, for example, last week I have a system that wins about 80% of the time. 2 weeks ago, I was 6 for 12. So I knew my odds this week were much higher of winning. So the losses actually helped me increase my size this week because of the confidence I have in my edge.
Yeah.
That's what verifiable data does for you mentally.
No, it makes sense.
All right, sorry that took too long, Masood. Go ahead.
No. By the way, I don't think I mentioned this earlier. This was a perfect question for D-Man. D-Man does big caps, and D-Man is a 7 to 8 figure trader. I don't know if that's okay to mention D-Man or not. Is that okay? Now that I mentioned
Yeah,
D-Man.
absolutely.
Yeah. So Tony, what he's saying is beyond fucking gold, and I think he's saying it in a nice way, Tony. I am the mean person, I guess. He's basically saying that, like, if you don't have an edge, and he was saying it and asking in a form of question, and I'm sorry to be very rude and blunt. He's saying, like, you will lose money if you just. I don't see an edge in that. If it moves 2 standard deviation away and it has always worked and it has continued to work now. So me and D-Man, we have different perspective on the stats, but like the stats have to work now and you have to stay on top of it. Something that has to work. So it can't just be, like you said, above 2 standard deviation it fails 90% of the time. Then that stat has to hold true. And it has to hold true now. And if you take these kind of trades, it's, to be very blunt and honest, like in the long run, it will fail. But something other than what D-Man said, I wanted to add is, uh, given you have a full-time job, maybe perhaps it would be better to focus on swing trading. One second, D-Man lost his way. So
Yeah,
one of the other things.
I've thought about that, the whole swing trading thing, and
well, the thing is, Tony, sorry to cut you off, is sometimes, a lot of the times, we always have to focus on what we are good at. Trading, if people always come to me, they're like, hey, should I use 5 minute, 10 minute? What time frame should I use? What strategy should I use? It always depends on what our strength is and what our circumstances is. Like, no offense, you said you were trading off your phone, like, and I'm sorry to be very blunt, I'm surprised that if you were, like, how do I say it nicely? Like, I'm surprised that you're profitable trading off your phone. I mean, unless you're swing trading, unless you have a proven track record, something that works. So I'm saying all of these things not to be, I was gonna say not necessarily, not to be rude, but these are like precautionary measurements on how to increase confidence and how to avoid big losses. So the summary is, you have to have something that works and you have to have something that matches your personality. You can't necessarily follow day trades if you are on your, like, I know you can't. I'm being nice by saying you can't necessarily. You can't really trade from your phone. This is only in like YouTube ad videos and like guru stuff. I don't know.
No, and I know I'm not going to be a full-time day trader by trading from my phone, but I just figured at this point in time, honestly, even if I'm making small gains, um, and obviously, hopefully, my gains outtake my losses. That I can slowly work my way up to the point to where I can feel comfortable to quit my job and actually become a full-time day trader.
So
That
Tony,
would be my ultimate goal.
I know, and you seem like an amazing guy, a hard worker, and we're the same age, and I'm so proud of you that you have family. But trading is different, bro. Trading is not about, it's not that, hey, I'm gonna make a little bit of small money, so therefore my feelings and my theories are valid. Trading is different. If you can make small amount, you can make large amount. That's trading is completely opposite to, and I'm sure you know this, but it's like we can't, because I've seen, like, I've done this with 1,000 traders. Even before YouTube, I've been helping one on one. A lot of people say that I just want to make a little bit of money, not a lot, and then I will slowly progress. I'm not a greedy person. I'm gonna make a little bit. I'm gonna give the money to my family, and all of these things. So trading is not like that, bro. Trading, if you can become, it's about consistency. If you can consistently make $10 a day, other than the psychological barrier, that's the same thing as making $10,000 a day. There's a psychological barrier, of course, where you have to risk dollar. It's all about consistency. So whether you find that consistency in a swing trade, in a day trade chart, or in an hourly chart, or in a 1 minute chart as a day trader, it's 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 about consistency. So it shouldn't, the perception shouldn't even be, if it should be like, how can I become consistent? And I hate to even say this, it should be more like, how do I minimize my loss? Because if you've been trading for 3, 4 months, you would, and it has happened multiple times, and I hope it happens. But multiple people, a large portion of people, within 3 to 6 months, a large portion of, like 80, 90% of people lose all their money. So the mindset at the start should literally be like, how do I minimize my losses? So it's like reduce size, and how do I match things with it? And in order to increase your confidence, because that's something you talked about, what D-Man was saying, and what I 1,000% agree with, is find something that works, like just like one or two play, that's it. Not trying to find out the whole market, anything. Something, an example would be, I don't play the big caps, but relative volume, high relative volume compared to yesterday, big range, and you're buying the pullback above leave up, or something like that, like those kind of plays.
Yeah. No,
So,
and like one of one of my problems is that obviously nobody likes to lose money, and I don't think I keep my stops wide enough. Um, which it's, it's something that I need to fix on my own, and I know it's my own problem. But usually, when I'm short something, 9 times out of 10, I find myself covering at the top of a candle right before it does what I thought it was going to do. So I think I need to go down in size, and I need to widen my stop loss range.
Well, I think
there's
you
a
need to
couple
have.
things that
Go
there's a
ahead,
couple
Demon.
things. Uh, if that's the case, you need to learn how to read charts better. Just to be
Yeah,
blunt.
yeah.
And honestly, with your work schedule, with what you're doing, I think the best goal for you to learn is a swing trading mindset. Um,
I
that
actually
allows,
said that before you were here, Demon. I don't know. It's the exact
uh,
same thing.
yeah, like so. Right now, you're not going to be able to be a day trader. You need to find a system that allows you to swing. And even if you wanted to day trade, if you're playing like an hourly chart, or you know, so you could check in every hour versus every 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever day traders play. But Masood, I think for him, man, the trend pattern squeeze system would be the best thing for him. I could teach him that, and it's easy to follow. It's easy to replicate. It's easy to jot down and teach
You are
stuff.
the beast. You're the beast. So
So
if
Tony, honestly, man, there's a system that I use that I've created, and a lot of it comes from John Carter and his teachings. And things of that nature. It's really easy to replicate. And man, I can send you my journal of these trades, and you can go back and look and see their 80% win rate, man. And if you can find that in the market, dude, it's a gold mine. And
Yeah.
so, if you want, man, just put your email in here, and I'll send you an email, and I'll kind of send you some videos that I put together on this system. And I don't know what size your account is, but again, it's not about right now. It's not about making money. You could do it with 10 shares, 1 share. You can do it with one contract, an option. Whatever. It's about you getting comfortable with a system and having 100 trades you can go back and look at and say, okay, I won 65 of these. Let me see why I lost the 45, why I won, and then kind of honing it in.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I definitely agree with you guys. I know I've been trying to take the day trading um, road, even though I probably need to focus more on swing trades. And
And Tony,
I definitely, that's the other thing I have been working on that Masad definitely, he hit the nail right on the head is that one thing I've been trying to do, but I haven't been able to do it yet is consistency. I mean, look, the way that he worded it, whether I can come to the market and make $5 or $10 every day, that's no different than being able to make $10,000 a day. But I got to find that consistency, and I haven't found that yet.
yeah, and he's exactly right. Right, the only difference is the mentality of it. Whether you're making $2 or $20,000 a day, it's the same. You're doing the same stuff. What if you don't mind answering this, what size account are you trading with? Is it like under 25,000? Is it over 25,000?
It's just over 25.
Okay, so you're allowed, so you can actually day trade because you're in the U.S., so that allows you to day trade.
Yeah.
What's the average size you put on in a trade? Do you have one?
Lately, I started off with like $2,000-$3,000 was my average.
Okay.
As I was getting used to the emotions, having the money in the market, all that stuff. But I've just recently upgraded to putting my average position size would be like 10 to 18. So
1,000 in one trade.
yeah,
Wow. Okay. So I would caution against that, but again, you do whatever you're going to do, especially
no,
if
and I definitely need to caution against it. Like the docu trade. Um, for me, I don't know. I feel comfortable and I like trading even numbers. So like that one, that was like 100 shares short for me the
yeah,
other day.
yeah. Yeah, and if you can obey your stops, like that's the rule. If you can obey your stops, then sure, uh, put in whatever you want. But most new traders can't obey their stops.
I
So
have, yeah, I've been able to do that. I mean,
okay, good. So
so
man, what the action steps forwards for me with you, Tony, is and Masood, if you disagree, voice up, man.
Hmm.
Be real.
Hmm.
What I'll do, man, is I see your email down here. I'll send you a couple videos with kind of a training of how to set up this system, how to work it, how to play it, and how to journal it. But a warning that I'll give you is unless you have someone that is personally mentoring you, meaning that they're talking to you like we're talking to you, they're just trying to take your money. So I don't know exactly what the boiler room is or any of these online trading courses. They don't care about you, Tony. They want your money. So unless you find somebody that's willing to personally tutor you, they don't really care about you.
yeah,
So get the education out of that you can. Whatever you can learn and all that, that's great. But realize I don't know if it's an alert service. I don't know what it is, but they honestly don't care about you, right? They care about the revenue that you're bringing in. So I agree with Masood on you need to pick one, focus on one, and stick with it. And if I were you, I would stick with this, what I'm about to show you with this method, because it's very easy to follow. It keeps your emotions in check because it gives you entries, it gives you exits, it gives you everything you need as a new trader to follow. And you just have to kind of fine tune your skills with this system.
Okay.
So just, man, be careful. Oh, if you're obeying your stops, keep your risk very low, like Masood said, because this first year, man, if you can come out of this first year even and with just pure education, man, that's a huge win. Huge
Yeah,
win.
yeah. And just to add to that, Tony, so what I said earlier about consistency is oftentimes it's not just you, Tony. Everybody else that wants to get into trading, the mindset is I just want to make a little bit. Look at me. I'm not greedy. I want a little bit and it's for a good cause. I'm going to give it to my family. I'm going to give it to X, Y, and Z. I'm a good person, therefore I deserve it. So that's the mindset that I was saying that we should kind of refrain from that. As opposed to having that kind of mindset, it should be more like just focus on one or two setup. Whatever that setup that you can resonate with, it has to match your personality, bro. Number one. Number two, it has to match your logistical time. Like you have
Yeah.
to, whether it's as something as simple and as stupid as like buying a doji on a daily candle. I don't know. I suck at big cap. I suck at big cap unless I have a fundamental edge on it or whatever. Then I do okay. But something as simple as that, then taking a position, or maybe if you don't know nothing about trading, you don't want to get into fundamentals, but like if a company you genuinely have done a lot of research and it's good, and it's like the chart is agreeing with you, you can buy the risk off the previous level. But find just one or two plays. Don't try to find everything what everybody else does. And I don't want to say anything about any chat service or anything other people out there, but sometimes it's it's healthier and its information is always good, but sometimes it can be damaging for us because when we see other people make a lot of money or other people actively trading and they're like, holy shit, this person top take and bottom take, oh my god, they made this so much. Just sometimes it gets to our head. So
Yeah.
so today your objective was to find out about confidence, how to increase confidence, right? And
Yeah, that and I guess D-Man, I guess he worded it better than I did. Was just kind of confidence and finding that edge, which would give me, I guess, better reassurance and more confidence going into a trade. Is
100%.
I gotta find that statistical strategy that works for me, that I can prove on paper that it's got a higher than a 50% win rating.
Yep. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, man, I'm excited for you, Tony. I think people like you can be disciplined, and ultimately discipline wins out in trading. And so you're a hard worker, you're going to be disciplined. I think we just need to focus your efforts now in the right direction. And honestly, that direction right now for you is finding that edge. And we need to give you something that you can replicate. And what I'm going to send to you is easily replicable. So um, I'll send you I'll send you a link that'll have all my watch lists in it for this year, and you can go through them and look at all the charts. You can go through and see the time frames and see how it works, and you can see for yourself that, hey, if this guy's doing it, if he's winning at 80%, I can at least win at 60%. You know what I mean? Even if I'm not as good at this guy at the system, I can do at least 60. And
Yeah.
eventually maybe I'll get better than he is and I'll be winning at 85. So, that's going to increase your confidence. That's going to give you the edge, the ability, the mentality that you feel that you need to say, hey, I'm going to take this trade. And honestly, I don't care what the market does, because statistically over time, I'm going to win.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions, Tony? Because we got like 2, 3, 4 minutes.
No, I think that was it. I appreciate your guys' time. I appreciate your honesty. Um, you guys had a very lot of great information that I definitely I'm gonna take in, and um, I'm not gonna just let it go in one ear and out the other. It was good stuff. I appreciate it.
Okay. Appreciate you, brother.
Hi, Tony.
Hopefully it
Take care.
wasn't too rude. Take care, Tony.
No, hey, thank you guys. You guys have a good rest of your weekend.
Take care. Thank you.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, amigos. That was an interesting one. It was a big cap, confidence. Um, I'm not very good at big cap, but D-Man's the man. Um, and yeah, if you guys want to stay tuned, subscribe, click the notification bell. I always answer within 30-40 minutes when the video goes live. If anybody has questions, so feel free to reach out, post below. And most important of all, if this you think this would help somebody, feel free to share with them. Take care. Bye.